We got a new Briscoe Park. I'm excited. This one's not very long, but still. Briscoe Park is always a good time. Let me get situated. And we may play a little more Final Fantasy 16 DLC. The newer DLC, I think, is what it is. When did they release? Let's see. Rising Tide was last year. What happened to the other one? Echoes of the when did Echoes of the Fallen come out? Interesting. Echoes of the Fallen came out before Rising Tide, but if you do Rising Tide first, like I did, and do Echoes of the Fallen, they actually mention the shit that happened in Rising Tide. That's interesting. That's good on them. Something that I would not have expected to have two separate DLCs interact in that way. That's cool. Okay, but whatever. Nobody gives a shit. I do. I love Final Fantasy 16. I'm so pissed that I didn't play it when it came out. Oh well. Let's see. Here we are. Tape 18 of Briscoe Park. Briscoe Park is this weird analog horror-ish. I don't even know if I would call it an analog horror of this person exploring these places that we don't know much about. They do exist in real life. He claims there's no CGI. I don't know about that. But the whole thing is definitely real, but the darkness is definitely edited in. There's no way. I mean, they probably went at night, but yeah. Anyway, let's see what we got. First off, this is tape 18. Submission statement is that they were followed, but no follow-up. Follow-up not required. Okay. Let's see what we got going on. I do hear him walking. That is not always a given. Watch this be like the one time they have a fucking jump scare. Got some mist or something. There's a lot of fucking bugs. This must have been taken during the summer. All of them are trying to find light. This is a wild area. This is cool. that him? That sounded like something stomping on wood floors. Nah, man. Oh, it's a fucking bird. There's a lot of birds up there. What the fuck? Jesus, it's like a fucking like condor. I could go for a condor egg omelet right now. Nope. 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 Ooh. Oh, that's cool. Oh, fuck. You know there's some shit in this window. No, we're gonna have to watch this again. You know there's some shit in this flashing. What is that? Oh, that's really cool. Who is that? Ah, there was something there. No, it's raining. Okay, there was all kinds of shit in this latter half. Actually, I want to watch the whole thing again just because I want to try and pay more attention to the edges. Okay, I can pause it and skip backwards and forwards and stuff. Because it says he was followed. This is a real cool one, even though it's only like 3 minutes long. And see, like in the windows or something. Sometimes like little figures and shit. Okay. He said he was followed. And on other ones, he says he's encountered people, so... These are the birds. You gotta wonder if like something was up there, because I don't know if the birds would get that fucking freaked out with them down there. Okay. Trying to look for the glowy eyes too. I don't like that. Okay. This is where shit is gonna pop off. Guaranteed. Some background music. Okay. Like over here, there's definitely some shit going on with that blue. Trying to see if I can't see any kind of like figure outline in the windows. This is really cool. Let's go in frame by frame. Okay. Ooh. Kind of. Oh, that's like the clearest view yet. I don't see anyone. That was a pretty big one. There's definitely gonna be some weird shit in here, for sure. It's a matter of finding it. I kind of wish I had astrometric on this computer. It's what you use to find, or like observe meteors and stuff, or asteroids, not meteors. Where you like overlay images, and you can track little light, make it into little like animated GIFs and stuff. Okay. Oop, you see that? In the bottom right. So it went back a few seconds. Right there. No, I want to see. Did I miss something? Because that shit was like right here. I think this is the last frame of it being like super bright. Do we see anything there? It's like right over here. Okay. We're going. We're going back. We're still going back. I think we're still going back. Okay. So it appeared like right here. So I don't know if I just don't really see much of anything. Okay. Now this is like definitely some shit's gonna be here. 110%. Something's gonna appear in that bell tower. I'm watching up here for a shadow. Okay. That's crazy how it makes it look like daytime so fast. See if like in the windows, do you see anything? Does so we have this, and then it like zooms up in there, maybe? It looks like it's from, see, like there's something there, but I don't know if that is this from a different angle. That's what I'm thinking, but I don't, maybe not, I don't know. Yeah, see, that's what that was. Orion, you scared the fucking hell out of me. I know, buddy. Wait. Okay. Interesting. Rolling lighting. Oh, I didn't see anything. You think there would have been something there. Let's see. Weird, I didn't catch anything. Let's see if anyone else did. There aren't any comments to point anything out that my blind behind missed. I found this when some dude covering the first few videos. Now I can't find the stuff. Guessing you don't remember the guy's name. The set description says was followed, but the only thing I caught at the top floor in the window at 256. Guess we'll need to wait for one of this analysis who scan every frame with full brains. 256, huh? Okay. I went through 256. There's nothing there. What are you talking about? The top window. What is he talking about? I didn't see anything at 256. And there was some... That's not a window. I hope he's not saying that that's a window. The only thing I caught was at the top of the door in the window at 256. Top of the door in the window? What is he talking about? Note, we found scribbled on faded piece of canvas inside the last building. It's been a week now without any glimpse of sunlight. I knew that when we heard about this place that it was always dismissed as something you should never seek out. As I hear birds flying in the rafters above me and the twigs snapping in the void, I know I'm somewhere else now. I can only wander so far in the dark before there's nowhere left to go. For now, these structures will be my shelter as I continue becomes unintelligible. Liked by Briscoe Park in tape 17. Do you have a timestamp? Strange how what is read is what is seen. History repeats itself. These videos are amazing. If someone saw me watching these, they'd think I was just some urban exploration channel, but though so little happens, there's also so much to, and I'm totally here for it. The last minute is incredible. 240, I was expecting a head to shot the little window on the right. No. That's exactly what they wanted you to expect. That's why this channel is so amazing. Wish it was a little longer. We liberating Earth from humanity. Lovely. Those confused by followed watchtower with the lightning guy in the top tower. Turns out the person disappeared at 251 is the start of him being there and then disappears last flash. Watchtower with lightning. Guy was in top of tower at first at 251. Is this what I was talking about when I did all this just a second ago? Okay, 251. Full screen. It says guy was in top of tower and is gone with last flash. I don't see it. I didn't see it. I don't know what the fuck this person's talking about. Where are you finding these places? I was waiting for tape 18. Love it. I'm horrified by this one, and I watched all the others. The only hint: blue window, 218. Left corner of the window above the door at like 258. Don't see anything there. Try slowing down the playback speed. Very faint light, absolute quarter of the window, moves away right after the cut. It's the only movement in glow. Eyes probably. That's noteworthy. At 258. Ooh, wait. Do we see? There's something. Okay. Was that what they were talking about? 51 is like here? Yeah, something happens there. So look in the window. Is it here? Damn, that just goes by so quick. Okay. Here we go again. During the lightning near the end, looked like there was something bell tower. I don't know how to describe it. I know what you're talking about. I had the same thoughts. Get back in the end. I just think he changed position between lightning flashes, and it's part of the building that's been blocking the view. That's what I thought, but you never know, right? There's something just visible at 211. What was that? Just visible? This is ambient mode. Dude, there's gotta be like something somewhere. Like over here for sure. But that's like easy, right? Like everyone's gonna see that. Okay, we're at 211. Somebody said something was visible here. Too bad you can't specify frames. Okay, well, whatever it is, I don't know. The investigator has become ensnared like the fly caught in the spider's web. What is this? Okay. For those confused by the follow of the watchtower with the lightning guy was at the top of the tower, I first thought it was part of the tower, but turns out the person disappeared. I already read that one. Was followed by what? There shouldn't be any other people here. There isn't any evidence of anything other or anything following the cameraman at this time. What the fuck was the anomalous light show? he made no mention of in his report. I assume the figure that was on tape 17, but no way to confirm yet. Look, this person's like, you assume? Are you not the one shooting this footage? Who is submitting? It's a game. It's a fun, like... Come on. Come on now. So the cameraman only analyzes footage after uploading it to whoever... Hey, what's going on? Is funding this expedition in strange space of eternal night. Yes. Is something just... Yeah, we already did that one. How's it going? Who is flickering the lights? The only hint was... Yeah, everyone saw the blue window. Alright. That is like low-hanging fruit. We need to go back. Somebody said there was something here. I don't know. I don't see anything. I don't see a single thing. Obviously, there's that light on. And we don't see the blue light over there. I think this light moves up. So maybe with our character that's going around here. I'm just watching this Briscoe Park tape, trying to be part of the community, seeing if any crazy shit's going on in these. So there's blue light and regular light. And we have this thing down here that I don't know what it was. And then there's this light. And the description said he was followed. Was followed. Follow-up not required. I don't know. I don't think anyone, other than like the light following him, if he's going around this castle. Somebody said they saw a figure in this bell tower. I don't know about that. Because like right there, he's like changing. It's like a different position. If I go back. Come on. Going back frame by frame is annoying. But it's lightning, like... Okay. Come on. I don't know. I don't know. I don't see it. These are like different like vantage points. Those are different viewpoints. So I think these little like, I don't even know what you'd call those, little rampart things. I don't think it's like a different figure. It's just these, and he's in a different viewpoint. But I know there's like clearly some shit that we're missing. Like here. Maybe there is something like here, maybe? They just put like any kind of smudge could be something. The other ones was like really like kind of straightforward. This one I don't know. See, there's something like right here, like jutting out. And I don't know about that. God, it just goes by so quick. That's it. Oh man, that's crazy. I kind of want to go back and look at tape 17 because people are like, oh, you know, what happened here? Because tape 17 led into tape 18. I only watched this one like once. So there's a bunch of weird, scary child toys. Oh, wait. We gotta see the description. Submission statement. Visual disturbance detected. She wanted me to see her old room at the testing facility. Without the arrows, there would be no chance of return. Endless back room. Follow-up may not be possible. Okay. So this is some kind of child... I watched this, but it's like some kind of child mental facility or something. That is some loud ambience, and that was weird. Yeah, these are, see, those are the two eyes. Those were from like previous things. Is that a toy or is that like an actual person? I don't think I even... Maybe my brain was AFK last time I watched this. Because if that's like the spooky child that... Maybe she like... noped herself out or something? I don't know. So this is the new stuff. And this is like some kind of, I don't know, children's ward at a hospital or something? Dude, there's no way. No way are you getting me to go into this place by myself? I don't believe in ghosts or anything, but that doesn't mean my, like, animal instincts don't. Or do, or whatever. Like, you get me in a haunted house, I'll tell you you're full of shit with ghosts and all that, but I'm gonna be scared as fuck anyway. The fear of the unknown. Sharpay. Those poor dogs. And they get like skin infections and stuff. Nope. Nope. What is that? They're like birds or something. What did that say? And I can't read that. 1080p. He's like, nah, we're getting out of here. Oh, and I was in college. My dorm room used to be like the oldest hospital. I lived in like the oldest hospital in the oldest town in Texas, Nacogdoches. The dorms were like that reconstructed. It was fucking weird. It was a small dorm too. It only had like two, maybe three floors, and I was at the very end of the thing, and we had like communal showers, and I was like, it was in the shape of an L, and I was at the third floor, the very last room, and the showers were at like the bend in the L, or the bathrooms and showers and stuff. There's some fucking weird nights, man. You go out there like 2 in the morning, expect to see little like in The Shining, the in like little twin girls come play with us forever and ever. It was the I don't know. It is a weird dorm. I just expected them there because it was just like a hospital. It's ridiculous. Like, it wasn't a hospital. It's converted into a dorm, but it used to be a hospital, like in the 1800s or some shit. It's ridiculous. It's terrifying. Ugh. It wasn't like this though. No fucking way. I don't like the arrows. Who were the twins? Have you not seen The Shining? Where there's like these like ghost twins or whatever, like at the end of a hall, and they're like, "Come play with us forever and ever and ever." Yeah, well, okay. You'll watch the movie and you'll know what I'm talking about. Little ghost girls. Yep. That is a big room. I don't like big rooms on upper levels of things are weird. They just shouldn't be that large on upper floors. I like tall rooms. Don't get me wrong. I'm a tall man. I have been in many of a short ceiling height. I do not like it. But this is weird. Like, that's just weird. That's very large. Oh, yeah. Yep. Many, many, many. This isn't in Texas, though. This is like in Europe somewhere. Although I'm sure you could find something almost extremely similar to this here in Texas somewhere. Especially like central Texas, where I was born. And I guess I kind of work there now. Like, I live in North Texas, like DFW area, but I work near central Texas area. There's some really old towns, like near Waco and stuff. Waco itself is pretty old. Like, my grandparents, they lived in a tiny town. Their house was a two-story house. It was a big house. It was built in 1913, 1910. Like, we just sold it like 2 or 3 years ago. It's like a five 5,500 square foot house. It's huge. It is very much run down. Like, what is the layout of this? It's like rooms going into kitchen, going into another room. Like, this is some weird stuff. See what is this? What is this for? I, think they need to have a little painting party here. Their paint is kind of peeling off a little bit, tiny bit. Do with another coat. I'm not a big fan of the arrows telling me where to go or where not to go. It was my grandparents. It was they passed away when I was in college in like 2008, 2009. And they hadn't lived in the house since like 2004 or something. And it was just sitting there. So my mom and aunt, they, I guess, held joint. Like, they both owned it. I don't know how that works. They just sold it. It was pretty difficult for them. This is where my mom grew up. I guess, and my aunt as well. But that house, I don't believe in ghosts, but that house had some weird shit going on in it too. Nah, it wasn't worth it. It was an old house. And like, it was a tiny town. Town had like 800 people living in it. Very, very tiny town in central Texas. Ooh, look at that. This looks like Oblivion. That's such a weird, tiny, like, I don't even know what that is. Like a church, but not, I mean, that's tiny. Like a mausoleum or something. Like a, I don't even know what you would call this. Like just an altar of some sort. Okay. Yeah, that like the light little eye thing. Yeah. This is a crazy channel. Crazy channel. I was not meant to find this. Okay, there was a few other things I had to watch too. I don't have to watch, but I wanted to. Yeah, Briscoe Park, like I love finding weird stuff like this on the internet. Where was that? The most disturbing things on the internet iceberg. I think that's one that I wanted. There was another one I thought I saved. Maybe I didn't. It's gonna let me play it. That's the weird picture from the ring. That scared the hell out of me the first time I saw that. Now I'm largely desensitized to basically everything.
31 entries, 7 levels.
Okay.
This is an iceberg of the most terrifying and disturbing things you can find on the internet. We'll begin with the strange and gradually uncover some of the most horrifying and deeply unsettling stuff along the way. Let's start at the tip of the iceberg.
I know that lady too.
Level 1. Bill Meade. Bill Meade was a YouTuber who uploaded his first video to the platform on the 30th of June 2014.
That guy looks like a walking corpse.
This was followed by a series of non-stop uploads that shared an unsettling similarity. A low-budget, static filming style paired with heavy religious themes.
Now here's the difference. For all that's in the world,
there's all kinds of shit on YouTube.
The lust of the flesh. Ever know about that? So many people do. The lust of the eyes.
As the uploads continued, something strange became apparent.
What are you doing?
Over just 4 months, Meade grew visibly weaker. Despite the odd video titles, most of his content was centered on his spiritual journey and devotion to God and Jesus. Then, in one video, Meade disclosed his deteriorating health.
Yeah, that guy.
A cancerous tumor that started as a toothache and could hopefully be treated with surgery.
As you've seen some of my videos, and I do hope more of you will, you've noticed a man, not so young, but with a swollen jaw on the right side.
Sure.
His uploads continued as his condition visibly worsened, leading to his final video on October 21st, 2014, ominously titled 10-Hour Surgery Tomorrow.
Oh, Jesus
The description of the video was a request to his viewers for prayers for himself and his medical team. The video itself has no audio, and there's no way to exactly know what he says in it. After that, the channel went radio silent with no more uploads or updates.
Hold on, I want to see if this person is like augmenting this. What is this guy named Bill Meade 1? Or do they like put a weird filter? Is this actually how this guy looks? Sorry. It is slightly filtered, but not as much as you would think it would be. It looks like they just darkened it or something to make it spookier. Yeah, that guy, I don't know. I don't know about that guy. It sucks. I mean, you know, he wants to talk about Jesus and all that.
It's widely believed that Bill Meade sadly didn't survive the surgery, leaving behind a legacy captured in a series of YouTube videos. Goodwill Mystery Photo. An old photograph from a Goodwill album allegedly purchased in Washington has surfaced online, sparking controversy due to its disturbing content.
Some weird
Initially shared in a mom's Facebook group, the original poster asked for the members' opinions about the image, claiming it was found in the album and later turned over to the police. The picture itself is very unclear and looks almost vintage. It shows a swamp-like setting with a man in a red or orange shirt standing in shallow water, both his hands duct-taped behind his back. He appears to be hunched over with water visibly dripping from his face. However, the most alarming detail lies to the left of the frame, where another man with both his hands and feet tied together is face down and seemingly floating in the water, his body positioned horizontally. What's more unnerving is the very clear shadow on the bottom left side of the photo. The shadowy silhouette resembles a person of a thin build holding what appears to be a shotgun.
Or an incredibly large...
Next to it is another shadow, possibly of an open vehicle door, which some internet users speculate could belong to a military jeep or truck. This photograph has led to 3 main theories circulating online. Some suggest it could be a frame from a low-budget horror film from the 1970s or 1980s, given its faded colors and square format commonly associated with the 126 film used in Kodak Instamatic cameras. Others propose it might be a scene from the American daytime drama As the World Turns. Another theory states that it probably depicts a military exercise, probably related to harsh boot camp training focused on evasion and escape, similar to Special Air Services drills. However, the darker theories suggest the worse. They say it could be the evidence of a real-life abduction. While this theory does seem to be the least plausible out of all of them, an article does claim that the man in the photo is Teddy Franks, a 19-year-old American citizen who disappeared in 1986 after leaving home in a fit of rage. According to the article, the image was sent to his sisters, who allegedly identified the figure as their missing brother. Unfortunately, all of these theories remain unverified, leaving the photo's origins completely unknown.
It's an alien.
Level 2. The Hawaii Missile Scare.
Oh, this
Amidst
one's
heightened
fucked.
tensions between the U.S. and North Korea over nuclear weapons,
This is
a Hawaii Emergency
wild.
Management Agency employee accidentally triggered an emergency alert that caused widespread panic across the state. On the 13th of January 2018, the Hawaii Emergency Management Agency issued an emergency alert prompting people to take immediate shelter. The message, stating ballistic missile threat inbound to Hawaii, seek immediate shelter, this is not a drill, was enough to make people stop and run for their lives. What's even odder is the fact that the government of Hawaii did not release a follow-up statement confirming or denying the alert for the next 38 minutes. The people of Hawaii were understandably hopeless and desperate. Naturally, this created uncontrollable commotion amongst the residents and tourists alike. People ran for shelter, some in flip-flops, while others called loved ones in despair. Residents described the situation as hopeless, spending those agonizing minutes fearing the worst and
There was some guy, maybe they'll show it, but there was some guy like that. He said he got that warning on his cell phone or whatever, and he was playing golf, and he's like, "Yep, well, I'm gonna go out doing the thing that I love." I mean, you gotta give it to that guy. He's fucking playing golf, doing the thing that he liked on, for the what he thought was the last moments of his life.
hoping for military intervention. After 40 minutes of literal hell, a second alert from the government finally declared the initial warning a false alarm, stating, "False alarm. There is no missile threat or danger to the state of Hawaii."
Like, I'm surprised. Like, a few people didn't, like, it's as freaking awful as it is, like, off themselves, like, to go out on their own terms. Like, I'm very surprised if nothing like that happened.
Pete, there is no missile threat or danger to the state of Hawaii. False alarm. Following the incident, a combined military investigation was carried out. It was revealed that the incident stemmed from a miscommunication during a routine drill. The employee responsible for sending the alert misunderstood the instructions, believing the scenario was real. He reportedly failed to hear the part of the exercise explicitly identifying it as a drill. The individual was later dismissed from their position.
No shit.
Thankfully, no one was physically harmed during the uproar, although the false alarm definitely managed to expose vulnerabilities in the state's emergency alert system.
Really?
She's still sleeping. Timothy Birmingham. Timothy Birmingham is a food reviewer on YouTube.
I think his wife died, and he didn't know. I think I know this
known for
one
his
as well.
simplistic and down-to-earth videos. For the most part, Timothy comes across as a wholesome man enjoying life and filming himself eating food.
Hey everybody, how you doing? It's Cooking with Timothy. Tonight gonna be having air-fried pork chops.
Ooh.
However, in January
pork chops very
2017, things took a darker turn when he uploaded what seemed to be a routine vlog. The video began with Timothy filming his wife Penny apparently sleeping soundly in bed. He then left the room, remarking on how unusual it was for her to sleep so late. Turning the camera to the clock, he showed it was already noon and commented that Penny would typically be up by then, either on her computer or busy with something else. What he sadly didn't realize was that his wife had passed away last night, and he was basically all alone in the house. Throughout the rest of the video, he went about his day and was seemingly completely oblivious to the heartbreaking reality. Although the original video is now understandably on private, he does occasionally mention his late wife and has even uploaded a tribute to her on his channel.
Damn.
Drakenlord. Drakenlord is a German YouTuber who was mostly unknown outside of Germany before his controversial behavior online made him the target of excessively abusive trolls. Drakenlord's entire lore is what some might call a mixture of tragedy and dumb decisions on his part. The primary focus of his channel, at least when he had just started, was metal music, and he gained overnight fame for his intense headbanging.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, not all fame is good, and in his case, most of it was really bad. Drakenlord was known for being outspoken and opinionated about things he did not have much of an idea about, and that's exactly what got him in trouble with the trolls. He was generally unliked by the public, and they unfortunately took their dislike to an unprecedented level, going as far as doxing and harassing him. His own decisions that followed weren't much smarter either. Drakenlord would actively threaten, insult, and challenge trolls to come get him at his house, even going as far as sharing his address.
It's gonna get you.
The entire property became a target for trolls. They dubbed his house the Dragon Bunker and turned vandalizing it into a game. They egged it, threw garbage inside, and even smashed his windows with bricks, calling it Dragon Games. Things kept spiraling out of control for Drakenlord, and he was clearly losing a part of himself to this very unwanted and cursed fame. His mental health
they need to get him on
deteriorated to the point where he began carrying sticks and randomly attacking unrelated people. He was exponentially spiraling down, and his content reflected that. Over the course of his controversial career, Drakenlord was arrested multiple times, leading to a 2-year prison sentence. He lost government and personal opportunities, ultimately hitting a dead end. Eventually, he was also banned from streaming, was forced to sell his house, and had to move away. He now lives a quieter life, but does occasionally run into trouble with haters. While Drakenlord himself may not be an entirely sympathetic character, the harassment he endured cannot be justified.
Yeah, don't do that.
Level 3. Jacqueline AIDS.
Hi guys, I'm Jackie.
Jacqueline AIDS, an esthetician from Paradise Valley, took her love bombing a bit too far when she was arrested at the house of the man she's been stalking, taking a bath. According to reports, AIDS had met the man, whose identity is kept under wraps for privacy reasons, on a luxury dating app called Luxy that allowed rich people to meet and go on dates with each other. The two exchanged a few texts and then finally went out on a date. Apparently, the date wasn't as successful as AIDS thought, and the man told her to not contact him again. For some reason, she took that as a sign to send the man over 65,000 texts over the course of the next few months.
And you'd be watching me in a taxidermy suit while I'd make sushi out of your kidneys and chopsticks out of your hand bones. Oh, okay. All right.
She was constantly stalking and bothering him, and even went as far as to threaten him on the very texts she considered a profession of her love. She reportedly told the man she was going to bathe in his blood and wear his fascia and skulls and bones.
I don't know what that word is. A fascia, detachable covering for the front part of a mobile phone. That doesn't. A wooden board or other flat piece of material, such as the covering the ends of rafters. Oh, here we are. A thin sheath of fibrous tissue enclosing a muscle or other organ. That's probably what it is. That's horrifying.
Her threats became increasingly more violent. She even went as far as saying she'd make sushi out of his kidneys and chopsticks out of his bones. Ultimately, though, when AIDS was finally arrested by the police and consequently interrogated, there was definitely something not right with her.
Yeah.
Her interview was riddled with contradictions and unpredictable statements.
So the rest of the equation is L equals 3.3.
I've heard
L
this person. It's the
times
love.
E
Yeah.
squared, and that's,
I've heard this person.
That's the equation of eternal love.
That's
She
true.
told
I'm
the
a
police she had no
scientist.
intention of
She's
hurting the man
correct.
she loved, but also stated that she was going to do it if he ever left her. She was under the impression that they were in a fully committed relationship, with her even going as far as calling herself his wife. Her interviews clearly showed deep-rooted mental health issues with AIDS. As a result, when she was evaluated by mental health professionals, they confirmed that she was incompetent and ultimately her charges were dropped. What AIDS thought was her magical happily ever after turned out not so magical after all. Robert Fulton School Exploration. Urbex Hill is an urban explorer known for going to the creepiest, most dangerous-looking locations
I've just
alone.
dipped my toe.
While he does occasionally come across some
looking at
pretty
these
unsettling
channels.
things, his trip to the Robert Fulton School takes the cake for
Have
being
I
one of
seen
the
this?
most horrific
Probably.
and frankly dangerous encounters on his channel. The abandoned Robert Fulton Elementary School in Cleveland, Ohio is known
Hey,
for
I
being
played
a
that on
hotspot for
Phasmophobia.
plenty of criminal activity. The school building is fairly massive, and it's absolutely no surprise that it's filled with squatters and the homeless.
Yeah.
What Urbex Hill didn't expect was such a hands-on experience with one. In the video, you can see him casually exploring the building and sometimes panning the camera at ominous writings on the wall. Something along the lines of warnings that say, "Don't explore alone." However, at the end of the video, Urbex Hill hears a strange sound from the distance, some sort of shuffling that startles him.
Nope. Nope. Yep. But nope.
He follows the sound and comes across a makeshift room covered with a yellow curtain. When he pulls the curtain
Yeah, I've
aside to
seen
peek
that.
inside, he hears an absolutely horrific, chill-inducing shriek that evokes the YouTuber's fight and flight, and he instantly runs away. The voice continues for a few seconds until Urbex Hill is out of the man's private space. The YouTuber is visibly shaken as he runs down all the stairs and
Yeah,
tries
no
to exit
shit.
the building as fast as possible. He ends the video by adding
See, I've seen that. It's unnerving, and also this to me is scarier than like going into a haunted house or whatever. Because like there are people in here that can actually fucking kill you and stab you and do whatever with you. Yeah. So spooky ghost stories and stuff is one thing, but like this is far more terrifying to
a
me.
clip from his exploration footage, clearly showing a man in the shadowy area of the building walking across one of the rooms.
Yep.
Intruder caught on camera. During the peak COVID months, a TikTok video went viral for all the wrong reasons. It was uploaded by a woman named Hannah Viverette, who had no idea her ordinary day would take such a terrifying turn.
You never
Hannah's
know,
TikTok
man.
channel was her creative outlet, often featuring videos of her dancing as a form of expression. On November 22nd, 2020, she was filming one such routine when she glanced at her balcony door and froze. Standing on her balcony door was a man in a red shirt trying to make his way into Hannah's apartment.
What the fuck is
Like any
wrong with
reasonable
people?
person, Hannah panicked and demanded to know who he was. The man muttered something in Spanish before chillingly asking, "Am I your friend?"
Please get out. No, please get out.
Things escalated as he opened her door and began stepping inside.
Dude,
Hannah, thinking
that's-
quickly, grabbed her camera, told him to leave, and ran to her neighbor's door where she called 911. The intruder was identified as Angel Moises Rodriguez Gomez, a resident in the building across from Hannah within the same apartment complex. After the incident, Hannah recounted previous encounters where Rodriguez Gomez had made her and another woman in the complex uncomfortable. She also recalled another incident from a few months back when she had found a maintenance notebook lying by her couch near her front door. She said she found it in the middle of the night and it spooked her out so much that she took it to her building staff. Unfortunately, the only thing they could do at the time was change her locks for peace of mind. In hindsight, it was clear Rodriguez
Well, if it's
Gomez
maintenance,
had
they're going to
likely
have a key to
entered
get
her
in there
apartment
anyway.
Before, and had left behind
like,
subtle yet horrifying evidence of his presence. Rodriguez Gomez was eventually arrested on multiple charges, including stalking, burglary, and property destruction.
He said assault.
Despite this, Hannah chose to move to a new apartment, a decision no one could blame her for.
Yeah, fair enough.
Manukau Tungiavalu baby abduction. A parent's worst nightmare became a reality for this New Zealand couple in 2017 when they woke up to find their newborn baby missing in her cot.
My 11-day-old baby daughter had been taken.
Just 11 days after the birth of their baby, the couple went through hell when they realized their daughter had been kidnapped. Fortunately for them, the entire crime was captured on their backdoor CCTV camera, and it was as horrifying as they had feared. The footage revealed a woman wearing a balaclava sneaking into the house through the back door. Moments later, she reappeared with a baby in her arms and a bag filled with stolen items. According to reports, a few hours after the kidnapping and robbery, the couple's evening nanny made a commotion to alert them of what had gone down. Police were immediately called and a massive search operation was launched. Fortunately, the baby was found within hours and safely returned to her parents. 19-year-old Sydney Tolapapa
that baby's going to have a really
the investigation
interesting
revealed
story
a shocking twist. The mastermind behind the kidnapping was the very nanny who had alerted the parents of the robbery in the first place.
I know this.
21-year-old Nadine Faye Manukau Tungiavalu, who had been with the couple for just 3 days, had reportedly been acting suspiciously for months. She had been fabricating her own pregnancy and lying to her family, claiming that she and her boyfriend were expecting a baby boy. Nadine even went so far as to arrange her own baby shower. Eventually, when her due date came closer and she still didn't have a baby in hand, Nadine spun another lie, claiming her child had been taken away. She was desperate to keep up her lie and eventually convinced her 19-year-old cousin, Tolapapa, to help her retrieve the baby. According to lawyers, Tolapapa was under the impression that she was helping Nadine get her own baby back. Nadine was sentenced to 3 years in prison for her role in the crime, while her cousin was released without conviction.
Her cousin? The one that stole her?
Hidden house in Northern California. What? Hidden rooms and secret entryways are all fun and games in escape rooms or video games. But in real homes with zero backstory and suspicious-looking items, they hit very differently.
That house looks
Take the case
weird.
of a cleaner in rural Northern California who had a job revamping a very odd-looking house in the middle of nowhere. What started as a routine cleaning job turned into a nightmare when they stumbled upon multiple hidden rooms in the house they were assigned to work on.
That's
Not
badass.
knowing how to process
I mean, not
the
a
situation, they shared the entire experience in a Facebook group listing some pretty eerie details. According to the cleaner, the house, built in 1941, had belonged to a single family until it was sold to the current owner. The visible parts of the house didn't scream haunted or crime scene. Sure, the decor was chaotic and the interior of the house was uncoordinated, but nothing raised any alarms until they discovered the first hidden room. It was completely concealed beneath the master bedroom floor, hidden behind a nailed-down, massively heavy door. Opening it revealed a staircase leading to a room with handmade bunk beds and filthy mattresses. But that wasn't the worst of it. The room had cabinets in it and also an old wooden stove with contents in it, as suspicious as they come. Whatever the cleaner found in the stove was so disturbing that they immediately contacted law enforcement. They didn't disclose what they saw, but some speculate it could have been human remains or something equally sinister, given how quickly the police got involved. It didn't end there. More hidden rooms were uncovered in the
Who could know
attic,
that?
featuring similar bunk
Jeez.
beds and cabinets. None of the rooms had plumbing or electricity, adding to the unsettling vibe. The case gained attention in 2020, but has since gone cold. The original Facebook post including a
heard of
chilling comment from another user warning others to stay away from the property, entirely considering how the area was known for being a hotspot for suspicious activities and active cults.
Like sex trafficking shit. too,
Delphi
maybe?
murders. What started as an ordinary day in Delphi, Indiana, took a tragic
Ooh,
turn
I
on
think I know what
February
this is.
13th, 2017, that left an entire tight-knit community broken
like
and
girls
scared. Abigail
across
Williams
there?
and Liberty
Yeah.
German were two average
Yep.
teenagers with big dreams and a whole lot to give to the world. They were the
I used
best
to
of
have
friends and were known to be joined at the hip at all times. Like every other normal teenager, one day in the afternoon of
I've
February
heard of that.
13th, Liberty and Abigail decided to take a short trip to the local trails they had known since they were children. Throughout their little excursion, the girls were being kept an eye on by family through social media, which showed that they were posting and being active until 3 p.m. Unfortunately, when Libby's grandfather went to pick them up from their trip at 4 p.m.,
I think they
failed
have
to show
like,
up. Initially, their
if I remember this right, and I like to try and jog my memory before they give me the, I don't want to call it the punchline, that sounds kind of fucked up, but I think this is the one where they like either called or they took a weird picture. It's like the last thing that ever happened. I think there was like a voicemail. Could be mixing it up with another thing. It's one of those two, I'm pretty sure, though.
absence did not raise too many alarms in their families' heads, since they were, after all, teens, and being a little late wouldn't matter much. However, when a considerable time had passed and they still hadn't managed to appear, they were finally reported missing, and a massive
You get that
search was underway.
Shitty feeling
What
in your
seemed like a
stomach.
normal teenage disappearance took a turn for the worse when, tragically, Abigail and Liberty's bodies were discovered near the Monon High Bridge Trail in Delphi Historical Trails. This sent the entire tight-knit community into shock. The only evidence police
Rightfully
had
so.
was a video from one of the girls' phones that showed a man walking towards them and saying, "Down the hill." For years,
Yep.
despite thousands of tips and witness
That's what I
statements, the
remembered.
case remained unsolved. However, the investigation gained new momentum in 2022 when a man named Richard
Interesting.
Allen was taken into custody. Allen, who had reportedly been on the trail, Richard Allen was taken into
Like, that guy knows that he fucked up. He fucked around? Look at his eyes darting everywhere. Look at that. Bam. Instant frame dart. Yeah, he's about to find out.
was
If he
taken
did it.
into custody. Allen, who had reportedly been on the trails the same day as the girls, claimed he was there to watch the fish. He was seen wearing clothing resembling that of the man in the video, and one very critical piece of evidence linked him to the crime. A .40 caliber unspent round was found near the girl's body at the initial crime scene, and investigators managed to match it to the gun owned by Allen. Witnesses also reported seeing his truck.
How do you have one unspent round? That doesn't, like, I don't know much about guns, but it's like one round. Why would you leave it there if you used the other ones to kill the girls? I don't know how that happened. Like, what?
Parked near the trails that day. Richard Allen was ultimately charged with the murders of Abigail Williams and Liberty German. Mysterious doll on the river.
Well, hold
The discovery
on,
of a mass.
Abigail Williams. It said he was charged. So this came out a day ago. He left something out. The Richard Allen was indeed found guilty of murdering them and was sentenced to 130 years in prison. The verdict was on November 11th, 2024. This guy should have put that in there.
Massive doll floating in the Rio Grande River has left locals and internet users baffled. What made the incident truly unsettling was the state of the doll. It was wrapped in a sack made to resemble a corpse and was eerily oversized. The doll was initially brought up in a Reddit post. The original poster talked about the doll's grotesque features and an apparition in the very fire it was burned in. The most disturbing details were its claw-like bony fingers, large beady eyes, and a gaping mouth that gave it an eerie, lifelike appearance.
This doesn't look like a doll. It looks like a marionette or a puppet or something. Hold on, I'll go back real quick.
Grande River has left locals and internet users baffled. What made the incident truly unsettling was the state of the doll. It was wrapped in a sack made to resemble a corpse and was eerily oversized. The doll was initially brought up in a Reddit.
This does not look like a doll. It looks like a freaking marionette. Old marionette. Thank you. Jesus Christ. Don't call it a doll. Okay, yeah, that's confusing. It's not... I mean, are marionettes dolls? I don't know what constitutes as a doll. When I was little, we called them action figures because... gender, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, that's exactly what I am on right now.
Post. The original poster talked about the doll's grotesque features and an apparition in the very fire it was burned in. The most disturbing details were its claw-like bony fingers, large beady eyes, and a gaping mouth that gave it an eerie, lifelike appearance. This was no ordinary toy.
Alright, so with the doll situation, at least what Google tells me, is that marionettes are a different type of puppet, in which all puppets are a type of doll. It's like and all squares are rectangles, but not all rectangles are squares kind of deal.
Naturally, the Reddit post sparked a wave of theories. Some leaned towards the supernatural, claiming it was a...
Why? It's like... so easy. And you know people don't want to see that, because you know that you get banned because you have to use those weird little markings on your message to like circumvent blockers. And it's fine, because now I just add it to my block list, so every person that comes in here actually helps me to filter out other people. I appreciate it. Have fun with the ban.
Demon in disguise. Others suggested it was a prop for a horror film. What made people assume it was a prop was the doll's eerie similarity to Slappy from the Goosebumps series. The doll in the series was a ventriloquist dummy with the exact same gaping mouth and eyes, although smaller in size.
That's like literally every fucking ventriloquist dummy, or marionette, or puppet, or whatever you want to call it. Every single one that I've ever seen has this setup.
This led many to believe it was either a Halloween decoration or a horror-themed prop. More practical theories included the possibility of it being an animatronic from a fortune-teller machine, or an illusionist prop usually kept in circuses and amusement parks. Still, the supernatural angle surrounding it was the most favored by the internet, which was further fueled by what happened after the doll was removed from the river. Locals, uneasy about the doll, burned it shortly after its retrieval, which only added to the mystery. Some claimed to see a face in the flames, while others speculated the act of burning was part of an ancient ritual or witchcraft native to the region. Strangely, the doll remained largely intact despite being set on fire, retaining its creepy features, a detail that left even skeptics
Well, what
questioning
was it
its
made
origin.
of? Was it like a porcelain
Whether it's a
doll?
prop, a ritual
Which it
object,
doesn't
or
look
something
like.
otherworldly, one thing's for sure. The doll is as creepy as they come. Level 4. Alexis Avila. In a desperate attempt to run away from what could only be explained as responsibilities, an 18-year-old from New Mexico was sentenced to 18 years in
Fair
prison
enough.
for throwing her newborn in the trash.
Oh, God.
Alexis Avila was caught in the CCTV of a parking lot in January of 2022, throwing a small trash bag into one of the 3 massive dumpsters. She initially got into her car and drove away. It wasn't until hours later that a group of passerbys took that trash bag out and found out there was a newborn baby in there. The baby was instantly rushed to the hospital where he was stabilized.
Oh, wow.
According to the doctors, he was not in good condition and would have lost his life if the strangers had found him any later.
Well,
When questioned
yeah.
about her motives behind the horrific act, Avila mostly acted like she was confused, although she did contradict her statements multiple times. She told investigators that she had only found out about her pregnancy a day before her due date, later claiming that she gave birth to the baby boy in her restroom. When officials refuted this claim through witness reports, Avila changed her statement to knowing about the pregnancy way back in August 2021. The entire investigation showed the perpetrator not knowing about the gravity of her actions. She claimed to have panicked but was seen showing little to no remorse in the video. She even giggled occasionally.
Sure.
When asked about the baby's father, Avila told the officer that the father of the baby was her 16-year-old ex-boyfriend who did not know she was pregnant.
It has nothing to do with him, absolutely.
The father, however, denied this and claimed that Avila had told him she had suffered a miscarriage. The child is now reportedly in the custody of his father. Ultimately, despite the lengthy investigation, there was nothing concrete in the perpetrator's statement. She kept going back on her words, even going as far as to say she didn't have any financial problems
I have a stable job.
and would be okay with taking care of the child if it survives. Alexis Avila was sentenced to 16 years in prison on May 2023.
Yep.
Jury found her guilty of child abuse and attempted
Abuse.
first-degree murder. Fatal Lexus crash.
Hello?
One of the most heartbreaking things to ever...
I think this is the one where, like, their brakes fucked up or something, and they were on the phone. This couple, older couple, I think, and they were on the phone, like, calling for help because their brakes fucked up somehow.
First circulate the internet is the audio of a 911 call that ends in tragedy. The call comes from Chris Lastarella, who, along with his family, had just wrapped up a week-long vacation. The loaner 2009 Lexus sedan they were driving lost control on the highway, leading to the tragic deaths of everyone in the car. The driver was Mark Sayer, a California Highway Patrol (CHP) officer who knew these roads like the back of his hand. He was driving his family to a soccer game on a Friday night when the car's accelerator pedal got stuck.
Oh, okay.
In the car
It was
with
the
him were his
opposite.
wife, his daughter, and his brother-in-law,
They couldn't
Chris Lastarella,
stop.
who made the now infamous 911 call. Witnesses reported the car speeding uncontrollably down the highway, reaching over 100 miles per hour.
That is
In the haunting
fucking
911
terrifying.
call, Lastarella explains the situation to the operator, detailing the stuck accelerator and failed brakes.
Like, what do you even
In his
do?
final moments, he tells
what's
his
the
family
brakes
to
do?
pray seconds before the impact can be heard.
Yep.
The car flipped multiple times before coming to a stop in a dry riverbed on the side of the road where it instantly caught fire, likely due to the scorching brakes. Friends and relatives of the family later commented that it seemed unthinkable for Mark Saylor, a seasoned CHP officer, to have been unable to stop the car. This detail fueled outrage, ultimately pressuring Toyota into issuing one of the largest recalls in its history.
Yeah, why
They
didn't...
blamed the crash on all...
I don't know if you can do this or not, but, like, I'm just thinking of, like, what you could actually do in that situation. Could you like forcefully like turn the car off and try and like coast it or something? Like I had no idea how I would handle that. That's my like that would be my first instinct. Or to like, I don't know, depending on where they were, like try and scrape up against something to slow you down, like go off-road. I have no fucking idea.
Weather floor mats, which were replaced in nearly 10 million vehicles. Whatever the root cause.
So what was it? Floor mats?
In its history. They blamed the crash on all-weather floor mats, which were replaced in nearly 10 million vehicles. Whatever the root cause of the crash, it doesn't change the devastating fact that an entire family lost their lives.
Like floor mats? That's not the first thing I think of when I hear an accelerator is stuck, the brakes won't work. Lexus, floor mats. Recall. A number of complaints have shown the floor mats can creep forward and get stuck under the accelerator, which can lead to the unintended and potentially dangerous acceleration. What? That doesn't make sense. They get stuck under the accelerator, but like wouldn't that, to accelerate you push down? If it's underneath it, what like okay, there's the floor mat. Floor mat too far forward. Yeah. Okay. What is this? Number of complaints can creep forward, get stuck under the accelerator, which can lead to... How? 2009... I assume this is like the same thing. It said like... Toyota, they own Lexus, right? I don't know, that doesn't make sense to me. If it got stuck under it, I don't know why it would make the accelerator not work.
Due to negligence. Water drinking contest.
Oh, yeah.
In 2007, a woman from Sacramento, California took part in a radio competition known as Hold Your Wee for a Wee.
Yep.
The seemingly harmless
it's
contest
so funny.
challenged participants to...
Just after going over all this stuff, like, goddamn, we've watched a lot on this channel. Or at least I have. Most people haven't been here. But the fact remains, I know quite a bit of these.
Drink as much water as possible for a chance to win a Nintendo Wii. What the radio staff either didn't know or didn't care enough to research were the dangers of over-consuming water.
Yep.
Something that seems harmless, even beneficial, can quickly become life-threatening if overdone.
Stay hydrated.
Drinking too much water can cause water intoxication, which may lead to brain swelling and, in very rare cases, death. Unfortunately for Jennifer Strange, she became one of those rare cases. A loyal fan of the radio station that had organized the challenge, the 28-year-old entered the competition in hopes of winning a Nintendo Wii for her 3 kids. Contestants were given small half-pint bottles to drink from, and Jennifer managed to consume about 2 gallons of water during the 3-hour event. Throughout the competition, Jennifer complained about severe stomach pain and feeling unwell, but...
Wait, did they have to drink water?
Intoxication, which may lead to brain swelling and, in very rare cases, death. Unfortunately for Jennifer Strange, she became one of those rare cases. A loyal fan of the radio station that had organized the challenge, the 28-year-old entered the competition in hopes of winning a Nintendo Wii for her 3 kids.
28. She 20. Okay, that's a pretty hard 28. No disrespect.
To the competition in hopes of winning a Nintendo Wii for her 3 kids. Contestants were given small half-pint bottles to drink from, and Jennifer managed to consume about 2 gallons of water during the 3-hour event.
With what frequency?
Throughout the competition, Jennifer complained about severe stomach pain and feeling unwell, but the DJs laughed it off. The contest ended with her earning 2nd place and winning tickets to a Justin Timberlake concert. Tragically, just hours later, Jennifer was found unresponsive in her bathroom. Jennifer Strange passed away in January 2007 due to water intoxication, leaving everyone who knew her devastated and heartbroken. Her family, understandably furious, immediately sued the radio station for its recklessness. As the case unfolded, even more disturbing details came to light. Court proceedings revealed that the station and its staff had been warned multiple times about the dangers of the challenge. Listeners had even called the station during the contest to warn them about potential risks, only to be dismissed.
Those people that are drinking all that water can get sick and possibly die from water intoxication.
Yeah, we're aware of that. They sent releases, so we're not responsible.
The DJs were...
That's not how that works, right? They signed releases, but you didn't tell them, like, that. It's not the point they're trying to make.
Heard on air saying the participants had signed waivers, so the station bore no responsibility. One particularly chilling moment from the event features a DJ joking, "Your body is 98% water. Why can't you take in more?" Adding insult
Because it's 98%. There's not much more you can take in.
to injury, Jennifer had not been informed of any potential risks before participating. Jennifer's family sued the station for gross negligence, ultimately winning their case. But no courtroom victory could undo the devastating loss of a mother and daughter.
I want to know what the
taken by
rules
which-
are. Like they made them do that with what frequency? I can't find that at all. Okay, here it is. According to contest 17 to 20, contest began around 6:45. Each handed blah 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 to drink at 15-minute intervals. Okay. And as they progressed, they were giving larger and larger Okay, 15-minute intervals though. Alteration of the classic drinking power hour game, where you drink a shot of beer every minute, or every 5 minutes. Wouldn't recommend it. I did it once. It doesn't seem like that's a lot, but those 5 minutes go by pretty goddamn quick.
Should have been an innocent competition.
So you're drinking like a 6-pack within
Don
an
Ma
hour.
and the Chained Woman.
It's
Family
that's a lot.
content is often seen as the cornerstone of wholesome internet entertainment, with new heartwarming family channels and accounts popping up daily.
Yeah.
However, one popular family content creator on Douyin, the Chinese version of TikTok, was exposed for some of the most horrifying offenses imaginable. Dong Jimin, an internet personality, rose to fame on Douyin.
The Chinese version of TikTok? I thought TikTok was Chinese. That's why they want to ban it. I'm incredibly confused on this.
With his account, Father of 8 Children. His content revolved around showcasing his life as a father raising 8 children in rural China. A lot of it was about him empowering his children despite their impoverished lifestyle, which prompted so many of his followers to donate to him in heaps. The wholesome facade
spent the
came
money on
crashing down
shit
when
for
another
himself.
Douyin creator visited Dong's home and discovered a horrifying aspect of his life. A woman chained by her neck in a rundown shed behind the house. The woman, visibly distressed, had difficulty communicating, appeared malnourished, and was living in atrocious conditions. She was wearing inadequate clothing despite the cold and had little to no access to food. It was soon revealed that this woman was Yang, Dong's wife and the mother of his 8 children. However, her treatment made it clear she was far from being regarded as one. The footage of this unknown woman went viral instantly, sparking outrage across Chinese social media platforms. As public pressure mounted, the Chinese government released a statement claiming that Yang was Dong's legal wife and that she suffered from schizophrenia. This made her prone to hurting her children, which forced Dong to chain her up. This explanation, unsurprisingly, did not satisfy the public.
Sure.
Netizens demanded justice, and some even took it upon themselves to investigate further, leading to multiple arrests by the authorities. The uproar eventually forced the government to launch a deeper investigation, and the results were sickening. It was uncovered that Yang had been an actual victim of human trafficking, an unfortunate issue that is still rampant in rural China. She was originally from Yunnan province and was sold multiple times before ultimately being brought to Jiangsu by Dong's father. There, she was chained, forced into marriage, and made to bear 8 children against her will.
Brother, like
6 individuals, including Dong and the woman who facilitated Yang's trafficking when she was a teenager, were arrested. They were sentenced to prison terms ranging from 8 to 13 years, a punishment widely criticized as inadequate, given the unimaginable suffering inflicted on Yang.
Yeah, no shit.
2017 Wichita swatting. Swatting, calling in fake emergencies to dispatch armed police,
this is that Tyler Barris bullshit
for years. However, this one swatting incident in 2017 over a mere $1.50 wager in a Call of Duty game led to a tragic and entirely avoidable death of a completely innocent man. It began with an online feud between Casey Viner and Shane Gaskill, sparked by a lost Call of Duty match and a small monetary bet. Their argument escalated on Twitter, with Viner threatening to swat Gaskill. Gaskill took things further and taunted him by providing an address, though it wasn't his own. Unbeknownst to Viner, the address belonged to a completely unrelated man, Andrew Finch, father of 2 living in Wichita, Kansas. Viner enlisted the help of Tyler Barris.
This was a huge thing. Like, if you're in the gaming sphere and you were online, when was this, 2017? 7 years ago? That's so long ago. This was huge. And everyone called it that this was eventually going to happen. And it happened.
A known swatter who went by the online alias Swatistic to make the call. Barris, no stranger to making hoax emergency calls, spun an unhinged and disturbing story during his 911 call. He claimed he had shot his father, was holding other family members hostage. Barris followed the elaborate lie by saying he had poured gasoline all over the house and was going to light it on fire if the police came. When officers arrived at Finch's home, he stepped outside, confused and likely
the fuck is wrong with
the armed officers surrounding him. Tragically, within moments, Officer Justin Rapp fatally shot Finch, claiming he believed Finch was reaching for a weapon.
Dude, that's so fucked up. This guy had no ties to anything. He just can, like, probably eating ice cream and watching whatever the fuck. Comes to the door, dies. Like,
the bullet struck Finch in the chest, killing him within 17 minutes. The incident caused waves of outcry amongst the Wichita residents. Some expressed concerns over the unprofessional, negligent, and downright deadly attitude of the cops.
True.
Others highlighted the dangers of swatting and demanded stricter measures against the
True as well. It's not an either-or
Officer
thing.
Rapp faced no criminal charges. Those involved in the swatting plot were held accountable. Meanwhile, Barris was sentenced to 20 years in prison. Viner,
that fucking piece of shit. We are truly the most civilized society, indeed.
and Gaskill, the instigators of this tragedy, received 15 and 18 months, respectively. Andrew Finch was an innocent man caught in the crossfire of a $1.50 grudge that cost him his life.
Yep.
It simply proves just how dangerous online feuds and the people willing to escalate them can be.
Imagine carrying,
Jay Black.
carrying
On the
that
11th
much
of
about
December
a
2021, a man by the name of Jay Black killed his ex-girlfriend in her apartment in South Baltimore and then traveled to Colombia to gun down his ex-wife. Throughout this entire tragedy, Black
I
had been
remember
on
this
Facebook
one too.
Live, basically.
This was huge. This one's super fucked up. This was a big thing when it happened.
Just documenting him committing a double murder.
Yep.
Rajay Sharif Black was a 44-year-old nurse anesthetist from Baltimore, Maryland, whose woes started with him getting fired from his job earlier that year. He claimed that the hospital fired him because he had blown the whistle on the head doctor illegally storing drugs. No one could have predicted the chaos that would unfold months later at Black's hand. The tragic event began with
all it takes is one bad day.
Black starting a Facebook live stream, spewing statements that initially seemed unbelievable.
Anyway, I just did something crazy, man. I just shot my ex-girlfriend in the head, yo.
He declared that he had killed his ex-girlfriend, Tara Lang, and was now on his way to kill his ex-wife,
He's
Wendy
like
Black.
incredibly
I just shot my ex-girlfriend in the head. Felt like a dream. I never thought I would be that guy, he said, filming himself standing outside Wendy's home in Colombia. He rambled about how his depression had been triggered by his ex-wife and stated that once he finished shooting her, he would himself as well. As he spoke, Wendy cautiously opened the door to see what was happening, only to frantically attempt to close it when she saw Black. He calmly turned the camera toward her and said, "Oh, here's my ex-wife right here," before rushing inside and shutting the door, leaving the screen blank. He could be heard saying, "Today's the day." According to Black's final live stream, he blamed the tragic outcome on ongoing domestic disputes and an unpleasant custody battle involving his children. He claimed that these issues had driven him to take drastic measures. After the incident, the children were found safe and placed in protective environments. Tara and Wendy, both nurse anesthetists like Black, tragically lost their lives in an incident that stunned the entire world. Philip Schwab. Philip Schwab, a 33-year-old man suffering from severe mental illness, was arrested after police discovered the brutally murdered body of his girlfriend, Kaylin Blue, buried in a shallow grave in his backyard. On June 23, 2019, police were dispatched to Schwab's residence in response to a welfare check requested by Blue's friends and family. They were concerned by her sudden disappearance from work and the lack of contact, and feared
I don't know if I've seen this
one. When officers arrived, Schwab led them
familiar.
straight to the backyard to a recently dug shallow grave in a flower bed. Police had also noticed blood splattered inside the house, confirming their suspicions that this was no ordinary welfare check. Concerned by her sudden disappearance from work and the lack of contact, and feared the worst. When officers arrived, Schwab led them straight to the backyard to a recently dug shallow grave in a flower bed.
So the guy
Police
just
had
showed
also
them.
noticed blood splattered inside the house, confirming their suspicions that this was no ordinary welfare check.
Well,
Kaylin Blue was known by friends and family as a kind.
This is so fucking weird. Like, what? Oh my god, what is this narration? Okay, if the guy led him directly to the grave, why say that, like, oh, they saw blood splatter and, you know, they got their suspicion? Who the fuck cares? He led them directly to the grave. What do you mean? Like, your confirmation is right there.
Optimistic woman. Just a day before her murder, she had shared an optimistic and cheerful Facebook status, stating she was happy to spend the evening at home. In sharp contrast to that, Schwab's post on the same day painted a horrific picture completely opposite of Kaylin. He had dozens of posts hinting toward the murder, with most of them being completely deranged and remorseless. She deserves
How the
quicker,
fuck did that
he
guy
wrote
get
in one of the
anyone to
posts.
like him?
Reports revealed the gruesome details of the murder. In the middle of the night, Schwab attacked Blue while she slept, plunging a knife into her neck. Despite her attempts to fight him off or escape, she was repeatedly stabbed before succumbing to her injuries. Schwab then buried her body in the backyard. He also killed their 2 dogs and threw their remains in a garbage bin. When asked about the motive, Schwab didn't seem to have any solid reason. He said that Blue had a habit of thrashing in her sleep and had hit him multiple times.
Throw him under the jail.
This potentially irked
Kill him
him
and revive
into
him,
doing
then
the
kill him
unthinkable.
again.
Given the brutality of the crime and Idaho's death penalty statuses, many expected Schwab to receive the maximum sentence.
Yeah.
However, he was later diagnosed with DeGeorge syndrome, a rare genetic disorder linked to severe mental health issues. This diagnosis ultimately spared him the death penalty, and he was sentenced to 25 years to life in prison. Level 5. Nokia 2-on-2. In 2009, an anonymous person named Nokia 2-on-2 made his identity known on the niche tech-inclined forum known as Hack Forums, a site mostly consisting of IT experts and some questionable operations. His arrival quickly altered the dynamic of the site thanks to his generous nature. He was known for posting gigs on the forum that required the expertise of its members. He was also known for compensating very well for these gigs, which earned him respect from the forum's members. However, Nokia 2-on-2's job postings, which initially started off as harmless, quickly became downright dubious. This raised suspicions across the forum about his whereabouts and origins. Nokia 2-on-2 started off as an investor interested in buying ideas from the forum's members, ideas that were quirky and different. But soon, it changed to him commissioning people for mass hacking, deleting social media accounts, and fabricating engagement. Despite being very active on a hacking forum, Nokia 2-on-2 was unfortunately not as tech-savvy as he thought he was. Around 2016, his Hack Forums account disappeared, which triggered an online hunt to figure out who he really was. He left behind very visible traces of his identity, and it was soon discovered that he was Saud al-Qahtani, a royal court advisor to the now ruler of Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin Salman. While al-Qahtani was officially a court advisor, he was also the head of the Saudi Arabia Intervention Force, a group used to keep Saudi citizens and officials in check by any means necessary. They used their influence to detain, force, and coerce individuals who went against the interests of the Saudi government. Al-Qahtani was known for monitoring journalists and was even reportedly involved in the assassination of Jamal Khashoggi, a dissident journalist who was tortured and killed in 2018. Al-Qahtani, while initially one of the prime suspects in the murder, was recently cleared of any charges despite having clear involvement in it. In the end, it's chilling to think that someone who once lurked in online forums pretending to be just another tech enthusiast was actually masterminding some of the most horrific acts of control and violence, allegedly. Cassie Jo Stoddard murder. A narcissist's need for fame can be projected onto the world in different ways. The Cassie Jo Stoddard murder is a reminder that even the most harmless-looking people among us can go to extreme lengths for the need to be seen by the world. Cassie Jo Stoddard was a 16-year-old who was house-sitting for her aunt and uncle when two of her classmates broke in and brutally murdered her. They were reportedly influenced by different horror movies and wanted to recreate a real-life scenario where they would kill someone. Unfortunately, Cassie Jo Stoddard was the victim they chose. On the day of the murder, Cassie invited her boyfriend, Matt Beckham, and her classmates, Brian Draper and Tori Adamczyk, to the house to hang out. She gave them a tour of the house, and they settled down to watch a movie together. Eventually, Draper and Adamczyk left the house claiming they were going to the theater, leaving
So she invited them, and they were planning this? Which, like, what? What are the odds? Like, she must have been part of the group, like the friend group, right? It's very odd to me. It couldn't be like a random, like, you two people, come here. I don't know. It's weird.
Cassie alone with Matt. The two returned after a while, fully equipped and ready to kill both Cassie and potentially Matt.
Unfortunately, we have the grueling task of our two friends.
They entered the house from its basement and stayed there for a considerable amount of time, trying to lure the couple downstairs. They made noises and cut off the power in hopes that the two would eventually come to fix it. When that didn't happen, they gave up momentarily and turned the power back on. After a few hours, Cassie's boyfriend was picked up by his mom, and Cassie was left alone in the house again.
Shit.
Brian Draper and Tori Adamczyk finally took this as a chance to...
Did they say that she had a boyfriend whenever she invited them over?
They were reportedly influenced by different horror movies and gave them a tour of the house, and they settled to kill someone. Unfortunately, Cassie Jo Stoddard was the victim they chose. On the day of the murder, Cassie invited her boyfriend, Matt Beckham, and her classmates, Brian Draper and Tori Adamczyk. The boys disposed of the clothes and weapons they used, allegedly burning them nearby. Draper and Adamczyk's trial revealed just how obsessed they were with the idea of being infamous, and their creepy videos made it clear that they were preparing for something like this. Both received life sentences without the possibility of parole.
And pretty much nobody
Travis
probably
the
knows
Chimp.
their name.
The ownership of exotic animals has always been a hot topic, with many people
It's the one where
rightfully
the
calling
chimp
for
ripped
it.
off that
There's
lady's
no better
face.
example of why this law is needed than the horrific events of February 2009.
Yeah.
A chimpanzee, once thought to be tame and humanized, attacked a woman, leaving her severely disfigured and injured. The attack set off a chain of events that are still remembered today. The chimp in question, Travis, wasn't your average pet. Raised almost like a human, he did things that made people believe he was incredibly smart. He drank wine, wore clothes, and even knew how to drive a car and unlock doors. He was loved by everyone around him and had no prior history of being violent to anyone.
Yep. All it takes is
all
one
of
bad
that,
day.
Travis was still, at the end of the day, a wild animal. On what seemed like a normal day at Sandra Harold's home, Travis suddenly turned on Charla Nash, a close friend of Sandra's, and attacked her. The attack was vicious and unrelenting and had left Charla with catastrophic injuries to her face and hand.
I wonder if this is what that part in the movie Nope was based off. If you know, you know.
Sandra was desperate to stop the assault and did everything she could think to stop him, even going as far as to hitting and stabbing him. She later told interviewers how much hurting Travis had traumatized her.
It's horrible. I mean, his blood going into his room where he was shot.
Sandra fled to her car in a panic and called 911, thinking her friend was already dead. You can clearly hear Travis screaming in the background in the chilling call. Sandra desperately tried to explain the situation to the operator, but her panic was very evident. Everything took a very horrifying turn when she cried out to the operator, "He's eating her."
He said he ripped her apart.
When the police arrived, Travis charged at their vehicle, forcing them to shoot. Despite being hit, he managed to retreat into the house where he collapsed in his cage moments later. The attack ended, but the damage was done. Charla survived, but the physical and emotional toll was unimaginable. She endured multiple surgeries, including a groundbreaking face transplant, and lost her hands, her vision, and much of her mobility. Her hand transplant was eventually removed due to complications with pneumonia and poor circulation. Despite everything, Charla continues to survive, forever marked by the horrors she endured. On the other hand, Sandra passed away just a few months after the attack from an aortic aneurysm. Her doctors claimed that she had endured a plethora of tragic events and, in the end, her heart, which had been broken so many times before, could take no more. This story isn't just about a single violent outburst. It's a reminder of the dangers of not giving animals the respect they deserve. Travis wasn't evil. He was just a chimpanzee forced to live a life that wasn't meant for him. Level 6. Sewell Setzer III.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna call it there. I will be back tomorrow. Gotta go to bed. Do that adulting thing.